Welcome to Third I Diaries, where we go beyond the fog and into the real spirit of what it means to be awake. Today's episode, spirituality isn't just ghosts and seances. It's way more personal than that. This topic came to play when I was hanging out with a friend. She said that she was curious about spirituality, and I was more than thrilled to talk about it. I had first asked her, what does spirituality mean to you? You think it's just ghosts and seances and rituals and paranormal? And she said, yeah. I told her, it can be, but it's not necessarily that. It's a lot more. You see, spirituality is the sense of getting to know yourself more. Some people believe that you have lived more than one lifetime, multiple lifetimes on this planet that we call Earth. But some people are new souls. What does that mean? It means that this is their first time here on Earth. They could have been in other planets, other realities, other dimensions. I could get so much into it, but that's for another episode. Spirituality is about getting to know yourself, about to learn the way of the world and learn more of yourself and those around you. And the concept is so complex. But for today, I will talk about my spiritual experience. My spiritual experience consisted of feeling spirits, even seeing spirits on the highway. It was something so bizarre. I had pointed it out to my mother, but she didn't see it. Maybe because she was driving, or maybe because I was only supposed to see it. At first, it can start of talking with your imaginary friends. If you ever have any stories of anybody who's had an imaginary friend, I personally believe that it isn't an imaginary friend. It is either a guide, an angel, a spirit, or maybe something else that is protecting that child. And yes, though there can be scary sides to spirituality, like evil entities or low vibrational entities, negative entities, if you will, things that cause harm and pain and suffer, it isn't all that. I have had my both share of both of the good and also of the not so good. For me, it started back when I was really young, but I could get into it in a different episode, so I'll try to shorten it for you. I can say that spirituality can go either good for some people in the beginning, or bad for others, or maybe both. But on most occasions, it happens differently for everyone. There is no definitive way that somebody awakens spiritually. Some will awaken spiritually when they have broken up out of a really long-term relationship, or they could start when they move to a new city, a new location, a new house, a new neighborhood, new friends, new everything. Other times, people don't even realize that they have awakened at such an early age. But yet they've always had this interest with mysticism, aliens, and anything unusual. But it's all connected. You know, it is all connected. Everything. Every person you meet, every movie you've watched, every show you watch, every angel number you see, for those who have seen them. It's everything. But in the beginning, you just see it kind of unusual and strange, just like, huh, that's weird. You know, you see 333 on a receipt, you just bought some groceries, and then you see 333 on the timer, and then you see 333 on a plate. Like, it seems too much of a coincidence. But But I'm here to tell you that those aren't coincidences. Those are signs of guidance for showing you that you're going the right way. If you ever have questions with angel numbers, you can search them up. Or you can really think about, when did I see this number? Which is for the people who are going too deep into concepts and topics. But because I go deep, I have an interest in knowing more. And ever since I was little, I would always have questions of, why is the world round? Or why can I only speak 2 languages? Why is the school system like it is? It all starts from somewhere. For those who have had negative experiences, I'm going to share a bit of it. My negative experience was when I had gone into depression, and I recognized that out of depression. I had seen a tall man. Let's just say he wasn't human. I don't know what he was. Negative thoughts, different things that one would not think to do once out of a depression. Lots of hatred towards myself. Lots of not self-love. That was my bad experience of it, among other things. Another example would be, I saw 2 little girls with my eyes closed at a family member's house. So strange, and no matter how much I tried to go to sleep, I could not go to sleep. It's those itching feelings, you know? The feelings where you know you can't go to sleep somewhere. You can't turn right. You can't turn left. You shouldn't walk over this alleyway or the street that you've never been at. Or maybe the street that you've been at, but you know you shouldn't. That's intuition. That, right there, is being aware and conscious. Those are gut feelings to pay attention to. Because it's preventing you from going into circumstances or situations that you wouldn't want, that you don't need to go through. Spirituality, the good part of it, is so wonderful. It's so nice to know what's good for you and what's not. What's most aligned for you and what isn't. It's good to know that that you don't have to please everyone. Actually, you don't have to please anyone at all. That it's your life, and you can live it any way you want. You can live it the messy way, you can live it the careful way, and then explore as you go. You can live it the chaotic, and let's go to this place, and then let's go to that place, and do that, or do this. Live it any way you want. But when we're kids or teens, they tell us we have to live a certain way. We have to be so serious. But you don't. No. You don't. You're free. You're gonna say, free? I don't feel free. But you are. You're free to eat whatever you want. You're free to experience whatever you want. You're free to be. That's something that we know when we're kids. That's why you see kids running around and they fall down and they laugh and then they get back up. Because they know it's part of the experience that they're living in. And that sometimes you'll be down or get down, but it's temporary. Like the clouds, they never stay in place for too long. The good parts of spirituality is unlocking gifts. That people will say, oh, but those gifts, they will make you live a normal life. But guess what? I'm here to tell you, you can live a normal life with those gifts unlocked. What I mean by gifts, I mean clairaudience, where you hear messages. When I mean you hear messages, I mean you hear a voice guiding you. Hey, don't. Or, let's go back. Turn right. maybe you shouldn't go on that date. Or different kinds of things like that. It's very small words, but you think about it and you hear them and you wonder, why did I hear that? Was that just in my head? Was that something else? And it is. For me, it started at a young age. Kind of young, I don't know, depends what you think of young. But for me, it started when I was 12 or 13. I heard a voice just call my name. And I asked my teacher if she had called me, and she said no. That was the only person who I would think called me, because the voice sounded much older than me. I stood around looking at the classroom, and I realized that was bizarre. Why would someone or something be calling my name? I brushed it off, went through middle school, and high school rolled around, second year, sophomore, and I heard it again. I brushed it off that day, and the next day I heard it again, louder, and almost like persistent for me to listen. So I said, mentally, not verbally, when I heard it attentively, and I paid attention to it, I said, why are you calling me again? What's the reason? And with no response at all, more things started to happen. I think on that same week, I had received a video from my mother. Back then, she was listening to so many meditations while she slept, and she sent me one of them. One of those guided meditations where you unlock your spiritual potential. I listened to it on the night that she delivered it. And the next day, I was me, but different. I started being really sensitive, I started hearing birds. But I was in a classroom, and I asked my best friend then, hey, did you hear birds? And she said, what birds? I didn't hear any birds. What do you mean that you heard birds? I said, yeah, I heard birds, like tweet, 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 tweet. And said, no, I didn't hear it. I said, oh, okay. And I found it a bit strange that I had heard birds. Seems something like so simple. It does seem so simple. But even the simple things add up. Things that don't make sense. At first it was just sensitive hearing, and from there it went to feeling down. But not down like when you're sad down, but down like when you're tired. And I thought, oh, I must be sleeping late. I wasn't. No, I wasn't just sleeping late. I was sleeping late, but that wasn't the kind of tired that I knew that it was. It was just something so. I said, I'm tired, but I know it's not because I slept late. It's because every time around this person or these people, I get tired. So I started testing things. I started talking one-on-one with certain people and figured out that I feel differently around particular people. Some I would feel really like energetic and happy and upbeat. And others I would feel so down and negative and like self-conscious about me and everything else. I was like, that's odd. Huh. Well, then maybe I shouldn't be around these certain people, you know? At a certain point, I made myself conscious that it's probably best I'm not. Now, what is that down feeling, you may ask? That down feeling is energy. It's all energy, actually. I'm energy, your energy, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your dog, your cat, your guinea pig, your grandmother, your grandfather, your coworkers, your neighbors are all energy. The reason that some of us feel down when we are around certain people is because their energy is much lower than ours, or maybe a bit lower than ours, and we start feeling down, tired, exhausted. Some people might feel irritated. But I found a solution. It might take time for some, and some they might just get it off right off the bat and just feel better. But in the beginning, I had found that after later speaking with my mother about it, she said, imagine a bubble surrounding yourself before you go out anywhere, or at any point that you're somewhere. I know it might seem mystical or like with something that kids would think of to roleplay, to play. It works. It really, really works. And the reason it works is because since we're all made of energy, and we understand that we are made of energy, we don't see the boundaries, the limitations, the can'ts and the won'ts and the impossibles anymore. We see everything is possible, there's always a solution, and I can do this. But the way that I got to that point, the way that I didn't get too down, wasn't just protection. It was realizing that the more I increased my frequency, the less it would affect me to be near someone who is in a down point in their life, either mentally, physically, socially, any given sense. And I can explain another episode how I did that for those who are interested. Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is something I recently discovered I could do. Clairvoyance is seeing images either with your eyes closed or open that symbolize something that you either asked of or encountered. For example, I could ask, how will this date go before I go to the date? And I could get an image of a sunset on the beach, or something like that. Clairvoyance is like looking into how something is or will be, but with imagery. Now, that might be confused with precognition, or before knowing something. That's what precognition means. It's similar, but precognition is when you see something before it happens in your life, or in someone else's life. You could be asking about a family member, and the next thing you know, you see what could happen. That's the key word, could. Because, as the saying goes, nothing is set in stone. Or, nothing is ever set in stone. have had precognitions of things and events that I thought were truly going to happen. But it didn't. I was really confused. I said, then why did I have the opportunity to see this if it didn't actually happen? It was really confusing, and I started to question if anything at all that I thought I saw was just something I wanted. Turns out that that is something else. What I had seen that didn't actually come true were the possibilities, the probabilities of something happening. Claircognizance. Claircognizance is the knowing of something. You just know. You just know it's gonna go great, or you just know that maybe this won't go as great. You just know something and you don't know why you know it. It could be something that you have never ever tried, but you know exactly how to do it. And you're like, huh, I didn't know I was good at this. That's interesting. You know what? It is. It really is. And the reason that you know something is because you've already done it. Which brings me to deja vu. Deja vu? You ever heard of it? The feeling that you've been somewhere before, or met somebody before. That's very, very real and true. I've had many moments of deja vu, both in my waking life. When I mean waking life, I mean not asleep, where you're like in the astral, which is another topic, but still, I wanted to make it clear, because all these things that I mentioned, claircognizance, clairvoyance, clairaudience, they're all things in my waking life that I have experienced and or continue to experience. Deja vu feeling, the reason that we all feel that, hey, I've met you before. Hey, I've met you too before. That's so crazy. It's because you have. In another life. As Katy Perry said, in another life. And you know, there's so many people who have created songs, movies, television shows, comics, stories, like books, that talk about lifetimes before, past lives, or deja vu. The reason we feel deja vu is because, yes, we have been there before, but not in this lifetime. No, no, no. In another lifetime before. We've met that person before. Maybe you were partners in a project, in like a group work situation. Perhaps you were sisters or brothers. Heck, maybe they were your mother and you were their daughter. There's so many reincarnations that have happened on this planet that we call Earth. So many. But for those who don't believe in reincarnations, you're free to believe whatever you want. This is, of course, my point of view on spirituality, my perspective, my piece of what I have seen and I have experienced. I mentioned Katy Perry and like saying in another life. Well, the lyric is, in another life, I will be your girl. In another life. Have you ever had songs stuck in your head? It's like, huh, this song won't get out of my head. It's just stuck. It's stuck since the morning, it's stuck since the night, and then I wake up with the same song in my head. And you must think, oh, must be really catchy. I must like the lyrics for the singer. But it's not that. Yes, some songs are really catchy, like the Macarena, YMCA, and other ones. But they not the reason. The reason is because you are channeling. That's the other topic of spirituality, channeling. Channeling is where you receive message, either for yourself or for others. Like you could ask about, maybe not ask, but maybe you have a curiosity. You think, I wonder if so-and-so still has feelings for me. And then you get the song, not too much after, that they still love you. Or liked you. Or like you. You just wonder, wow, that's okay. To brush it off, I'm just thinking, oh, it's probably just something I'm imagining, something I wish for. Which could be true. Could be something you wish for, and that they're wishing for it too. The moment that you think of like a long time ago person you met, and you're just like, man, I wish I got their number. Or like their Facebook, whatever. This is an example for anyone out there. And then you just bump into them. You bump into them at a grocery store, at a cafe, at like in school or something. And you're just like, wow, that's crazy, man. How? That is sending a message to someone else. But they were also thinking about you too. So the aspect of messaging somebody, but then they message you before you message them when you were thinking of messaging them. Yeah, that's telepathy work right there. But people don't realize that. They don't see it as that. They just find it like as weird little coincidences and brush it off. There's so many things about life that is so interesting and so wonderful once you get to see that things don't happen things don't happen against you. They happen for you to grow. And some people won't want to grow, and that's completely fine. And others will want to grow, and they want to know more about themselves, about others, or just the way of the world. And the way of the world is a complex question, but a simple answer. The way of the world is however you want to see it. Perspective is everything. So as I mentioned earlier, how is it that I don't get as affected of being near someone who's like going through a rough state, right? I increased my frequency. How did you do it? Excellent question. There's many factors actually. It was doing my shadow work, as they call it. No, it's not scary. I don't find it scary. But shadow work is the term for working on the deepest, darkest, traumatic times of your life. And learning, agreeing, accepting to heal. When you heal, you unlock other things that you can do, that you've always been able to do. And that's not just healing, Healing, I'm not talking about physical, though sometimes it can be physical. It's also mentally, emotionally. By mentally, I mean self-love, learning to love yourself. The good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. did I do that? I learned to accept that I am worthy of love. And you, my friend, viewer, watcher, whatever you might be doing while listening to this, you are also worthy of love and care and respect and all the good things in life. But when someone's sad, depressed, or after a breakup, they don't feel that way. Some don't. Maybe some do, but some don't. And that makes me sad. Because once people learn that we're all worthy of all the things you want, all the things you want to achieve, you will be unstoppable, quite literally, because you have no more limitations. And non-self-love can go into not taking care of yourself and taking care of others before you. And though yes, moms do that, fathers do that, grandmas and grandpas do that, aunts and uncles do that. It's very, very unhealthy. Because they forget themselves. Spirituality is all about learning about yourself and what there is to learn in this life in general. And if you're wondering, how do I get into spirituality? I'm curious about it, but I'm scared. I would recommend, but it's up to you. Everyone's got free will. But for me, I heard heart frequency videos, guided meditations. I looked up affirmations, positive affirmations, if you will. It has taken me years to be at the point that I am now. But I know that others out there have taken them much, much more. So as I'm closing this segment of this first episode, I want you to know that you are not behind. You are not late to your spiritual journey, anything in life. You're exactly where you're supposed to be at this time. And though it may feel like you're not growing, you're not moving, you are. It's called preparation. And preparation is standing still is so, so powerful. Because you're preparing for the next chapter in your life. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a like to support this. I'll be putting episodes every single Friday. May you have a beautiful, wonderful, blessed